how's it going, everyone? So I just got done watching Hellraiser 7, aka Hellraiser 7, not 7, Deader! Deader, yeah, it's Hellraiser Deader. Die Hard 2, Die Harder. Such a stupid title. Yeah, Deader. Holy shit, my brain's deader from watching this. I have nothing to say about this movie. Like, this is the least amount of notes I've written for any movie ever. Like, nothing memorable happens in this movie. Like 3 months from now, I will look back on this and I'll be like, what happened in that? I forget. It's so boring. There's nothing going on here. It feels just like part 5 and 6. Except part 5 did it better. And this one's just awful. But there are some good things I will point out because I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy. So, what is the plot for this movie? Well, it's about Amy Klein, an investigative journalist who goes all the way to Romania to investigate this cult or group of people called Deaders who can resurrect people back from the dead. For what purpose, I don't know. But she's going there to investigate it. She finds the cube, opens it up, Pinhead attacks her, and she has to figure out what the hell's going on. Meanwhile, there's this war going on between the Cenobites, who are against the Deaders, and the Deaders want to take control of the Cenobites, yada yada yada, and Amy Klein, the investigative journalist, is kind of stuck in the middle between them. One wants this goal, or this thing from Amy, and the other one's using Amy for this purpose, blah blah blah. Uninteresting. Not my type of movie. Sucks. This movie is produced by Stan Winston, rest in peace. This was probably one of his last movies that he ever did besides Terminator Salvations. I'm not sure what he had to do with this movie, like what idea he presented. It's like it said a Stan Winston production. He's a special effects guy, so I'm not sure. And he didn't do the special effects in this. It's Gary Tunnicliffe, so I'm not sure what hand he had in this. Hopefully, I don't know. But, man, this movie was just... Oh, it's bad. Don't watch it. Please, don't. This movie takes place in Romania, budgetary reasons. It was going to take place in London. The beginning is in London. She goes to Romania. You could tell that this movie was just quickly made. It was like shot right after Hellraiser in 2002. This was shot back to back with part 8, which everyone says is the worst, and I'm curious to check it out. Please don't be worse. It can't be worse than Deader. There's no fucking way. This was just, there's nothing interesting going on in this. Oh, like, I checked that time code a couple of times. I even took breaks because I just couldn't get through it. And I probably would have understood the story a little bit better if I could hear what the fuck was being said. The audio levels for everything is like even, so therefore, like, if there's music, it's also like as loud as like people's voices. So therefore, I was like, what's being said? There's music playing right now. There's score, and the score, oh, that's gonna be my negatives. But yeah, let's just go into this movie. Rip a new asshole on it. Yeah, let's rip it a new asshole in this week's Horror Franchise Wednesday. Starting off with the cons. The score. I didn't care for the music in this movie at all. They kind of use that church bell siren sound that you hear in the first movie. They bring that back sometimes, but they use it in weird spots. And yeah, the overall score, didn't like it. It just felt very stock and uninspired. It's just lame. And then we got lots of dreams and fake outs. Once again, once she opens up that box, every other scene is once again a fake out. She'll wake up and then she'll wake up again within the same dream. It's like a dream within a dream. And I don't care. I'm sick of it. 3 movies in a row. It was fun in Inferno. It got old in Hellraiser, and now I'm fucking sick of it. I like how her whole goal was to go learn about these Deaders and find out what it is they're doing exactly, how they're able to do it and pull it off, and their reason, and we find out absolutely nothing about that by the end of the film. But then again, like I said, I had a hard time hearing, and there's no subtitles. The DVD I got has no subtitles, so it was a lose-lose situation. Everyone had like Romanian or British accents, and they spoke softly and quiet. Meanwhile, that music's playing over it, and I'm like, I can't hear you. Especially Marla couldn't hear a fucking word she said. And I could tell she was like dropping exposition here and there. And I was like, I really want to know what she's saying, but I can't hear it. So it was just annoying. But yeah, by the end of it, what do we know about the Deaders? Why do they bring people back? How do they do it? What's their purpose? I guess they want to somehow control the Cenobites, like make them their pets. Why? I don't know. And then like lazily try to connect this to the other movies. You know, I'm a continuity guy. I like continuity, but this is a lazy attempt to make this a continuous story from the first 4 or 5. I guess Hellseeker was technically part of that timeline, but man, this is even loose. Like, part 6 was barely connected to the first 4, but this one is even less connected. They just randomly say, oh, by the way, this guy is a relative of John Merchant. Okay, now we're connected to the other movies. No, you're not. There is no connective tissue to those films. You can just because you're calling this guy a John Merchant, like, relative, like he's the great-great-great-grandson, I don't give a fuck. This is supposed to take place in the same decade or time as the other Merchant. How is he related to that guy? He doesn't look like that guy. Is he the brother, the cousin, the second cousin? It's just stupid. Don't even try to connect yourself to that timeline. You could tell this was not a Hellraiser movie when it was written. It was written by the guy who wrote 13 Ghosts, and then some other guy went in and like did the Hellraiser stuff and added it in. I think he wrote part 6 also, but yeah, this is just awful. Rick Bota is the director again, and he directs the next one. I'm not a fan of his directing style. There's no really good shots in this movie. It's just very boring. It's just boring. There was one creepy moment. I'll get to it later. But yeah, this is not an interesting story. It's just another investigative journalist. Just like in part 3, you had that journalist. You got one here again. And it's just dumb. Like, oh, I'm going to go investigate this and learn nothing. Okay. And she watches this very disturbing tape, which was basically the Weinsteins trying to capitalize on the Ring movie that came out in Japan, and when did the Ring come out? Like 2004, 5? They're basically just trying to copy that. Like, oh, let's do the VHS tape thing. And what's funny about that is there's a VHS tape, and it's all like recorded on a camcorder, and it's all this edited footage, but one continuous soundtrack. That's impossible. You can't fucking do that. You can't just keep recording and then somehow have like 6 different angles, all these different shots. It's bullshit. Unless there was like 20 cameras, but like I said, it's all one audio track. So no, that's not possible. And yeah, I guess the last thing I'll point out that's not spoiler-like is the Romania setting. I'm not crazy about it, and the only reason why we're in Romania is because of the budget of this film. And there's like no atmosphere. There's no creepy moments other than one, and I'll get to it, but there's just like one good moment of like eeriness, and that's it. So yeah, fuck, this was rough. This was a tough one to get through, and I hope that the rest are not this bad like I keep hearing. Please, I don't want to go through this anymore. Alright, the positives for this film I'll say is the main girl in this movie. I don't know her name. Kari Wuhrer, something weird. She's in a lot of movies like The Prophecies and with Christopher Walken, I think, but she is the only like standout character. She's the main character that you follow throughout the whole thing, just like the one guy in part 5 and the guy in part 6. These movies after part 4, they seem to focus really on one person throughout. There's no like secondary characters or anyone else that gets any focus. It's just one character all the way through, and she really carries the weight of the movie. Like, she's interesting, kind of, and she's very good. I think she was the best actress in here. She really delivers. She's got quite a few emotional scenes where she's crying. She's got this abusive history with her father where she basically got raped and like her ass kicked every night, and then she finally snapped and did something, killed him. Not really a spoiler. Who gives a shit? It's a dumb movie. You're not going to watch it. And have you seen it? I'm sure yeah. If you haven't seen it, don't watch it. So whatever. That's not even, who gives a shit? But yeah, she's okay. She's okay. She's got this one scene, especially involving a knife, that was pretty funny and very dark. And just, if you put yourself in that situation, like, I don't know how I would react, but yeah, it was believable, her performance. So I liked her. And there's lots of boobs in this movie. So if you're looking for that, holy shit. This Hellraiser has the most tits out of all of them combined. You put it all together, you get like girl on girl action, and like just they're grabbing each other's breasts and nips sucking on it. It's like a lesbian porno in this one scene. There's just all kinds of boobage. So yeah, I like that. And the Cenobites look good, even though you get them for less than 2 minutes, and they don't have any they don't focus. The camera doesn't really focus on them. They're kind of like in the background. They kind of make an entrance, and they do nothing at all. It's just mainly Pinhead. But they look good. The effects on them, and even the effects on the dead people, the deaders, it was alright. But yeah, I like two scenes in this movie. The knife scene in the back, the knife in the back scene, and when she finds that dead girl in the apartment, I like that scene. So there's two decent scenes in this movie, and that's about it. Now the hottest chick award goes to the main girl, Amy Klein. She is beautiful. She looks good today. If you look her up, she looks stunning even today. So yeah, beautiful then, beautiful now. And the clap award for best scene goes to when she finds that dead girl in the bathroom at the apartment and the videotapes next to her and she's holding the Rubik's Cube. That scene is pretty eerie. So quick final thoughts. This one was not a fun movie at all. It's just a boring investigative journalist. I didn't see any entertainment from it. There's only a couple of decent little scenes in it, but there's nothing really that scary about it. There's no real good atmosphere, no good score, no good kills, and the only kill you do really see is something we've already seen done before and again and again in this franchise. There's barely any Pinhead. Yes, the main girl's a good actress, but she's not that great of a character, or like there's nothing like that great going on in this movie. It's just so boring. Don't watch it. When it comes to Hellraiser Deader, this movie is wasted time. Alright, let's talk about this movie. If you've seen the movie, stick around. Let's talk about this. Let's explain this to each other. Let's try to figure out what the fuck this movie is really even about. So, we get this girl, Amy Klein. She's the journalist, and she's living in this crack house. She's with all these crack whores, and then she just starts taking pictures of them, and they all seem to question why she's doing that. Like, I would be offended as a crack whore myself if I was being, like, photographed, like, for some newspaper. I'd be like, give me that camera, bitch. But they don't care at all. They just let her take pictures. Now, it seemed like she was infiltrating them and, like, she was partaking. Like, did she smoke crack herself just to get a scoop and a story together? She must be really committed. But then, and she's smoking a lot through this movie, like, all the time. That's another thing I noticed. But yeah, then she finds this videotape, or her boss finds this videotape, and he wants her to go investigate it in Romania. And the videotape, like I said before, the footage is edited somehow. That's impossible. And who the hell sent that cube? You think Marla sent the cube, and if you read about this movie online, it says that Marla sent it, but didn't Paul Rhys' character, whatever the fuck his name is, Winter, I think they call him Winter, didn't he admit that he sent it? I don't know, it was very ambiguous the way he worded it, like, maybe he sent it, or Marla, I chose you, whatever. Why? Like I said, I couldn't hear shit that was being said, and I had to, like, look it up. Apparently he chose Amy because of her abusive past, and she's like a nihilist, or she's like the perfect candidate to somehow help him take control of the Cenobites, and he doesn't know how to open up the cube, and she does. That's what I read. How the fuck does he not know how to open that? You know how to resurrect people from the dead, but you don't know how to open up a cube that all it takes to open is literally just putting your thumb on it? That's all anyone ever does in this franchise to open up the cube. They just go, oh, what's it? Boom, it just opens. Like, you can't fucking figure that out? You're an idiot. But you can resurrect people from the dead. How? By making... I love how he resurrects people. He has to, like, do CPR on them. He, like, takes their face, like, sucks on their lips, just like he's making out with them. He does it with a guy and a girl. Thought that was interesting. Doesn't discriminate. Bisexual. Is it sexual to him? Or, like, it would be funny if, like, that's not even what he has to do to, like, resurrect people, but he just chooses to do that to get, like, some action. Like, trust me, this is what you gotta do. That's what my mind likes to think. Like, that's what I would do if I was in that situation. I'd like, trust me, ladies, I could resurrect you by making out with you. But yeah, it's just dumb. The movie's dumb. And then he, like, kills her he, like, stabs her, and then that's when we get that scene. And she wakes up in a bathroom, and she finds that knife in her back, and she's, like, trying to get it out, but it's, like, in that point where you can't reach it, which is weird. Like, I can. Is it just me? Why couldn't she reach it? How the fuck could she not reach her own back? My arm can. Why couldn't hers? Like, she's like, I can't grab it. It's like, then try this. What was preventing her arm from grabbing it? It's a cool scene, but when you think about it, how could she not reach it? I can reach my whole back. Just dumb. But yeah, she uses, like, the cupboard of, like, the medicine cabinet, like, she shuts it on the knife, pulls it out, and her acting in that scene is pretty good. She's, like, screaming. It's pretty effective. And then she's, like, just draining blood just constantly pouring out of her body. She, like, takes duct tape and a towel and wraps it around her back. Even though she's technically not bleeding. I don't think she really is, because it's all a dream, everything's fake, and there's like all these CGI bugs that look awful. The CGI in this movie, why? It's just dumb. It's so noticeable. But yeah, I like how she opens up the box right after the tape with disturbing ass shit on it is like, hey, by the way, don't open it. And she's like, open it how? And then 2 seconds later, opens it, dipshit, chains come out, grab her face, and then she wakes up. Why didn't Pinhead just kill her right there? What prevented him from doing that? Why is the rest of the movie still happening? And she's like doing these dream sequences, and who's making these things happen? Is it Pinhead or is it Winter, the Deader guy? Don't know. And like I said, I hate that we don't even get to really learn about the Deaders, their motivation, why they even want to kill themselves to come back. What's the point? Is there some reward, some treasure? We don't get any explanation. It's just dumb. I like to say that a lot. It's just dumb. It's always dumb. But this movie is dumb. Like, I don't care. I don't care for it. And there's a dumb scene. Dumb. Yeah. I just thought it was corny. Like she's bleeding in the subway, and like she keeps like trying to cover up all the blood. It's like, just run. There's so much time. You have like, there's a cop coming. Like, she thinks this cop's gonna like arrest her or something for bleeding everywhere. It's like, no, maybe take you to the hospital. But she's like panicking. It was just a weird scene. But yeah, then there's like this subway train where everybody's like walking around butt ass naked, including men, like men and women just making out, orgies, and just all kinds of shit. There's like a tattoo artist guy in there. And then all of a sudden, like, everyone's dead. Just like bodies strewn about, and like carnage and chains with like body parts. That's an interesting scene. It's weird. I guess they were dead the whole time. Is that what that means? I don't know. Oh yeah, then I forgot to talk about the scene where she like sees that girl like dead. Like, I like that shot. It's probably my favorite shot in the movie. Right there when she like turns and she sees the girl like all the way down like the hall, just staring at her dead, and she hung herself, hanging onto the cube like rigor mortis, still holding on to it. That scene was pretty effective. She's like trying to like reach for the envelope behind her. She's like too scared to even walk by the dead body. It's just a dead body. So that's just weird to me. It's like, just walk around, get the goddamn tape. Why are you trying to be so weird? You only got 5 minutes in that place. That guy's gonna kick you out, remember? You know what I mean if you've seen this. Yeah, Pinhead doesn't say anything memorable. There's like no quote from him that I was like, oh, that sounds nice. He says, I am the way, which he already said in part 3. That was like his big quote. He like stabs his hands. He's like, I am the way. In this one, he just steals his own lines. He's repeating material. And if this movie couldn't bug me anymore, there's a pigeon jump scare. Yeah, fuck you. You know how I feel about jump scares, especially when it comes to like creatures, cats, and this one has a pigeon. But not only does the pigeon scare her, they use that jump scare music. It's so annoying. But yeah, then we get this dream within a dream. She wakes up from some location. She wakes up in the asylum, and she's like, oh, why am I here? And then she sees this little girl like drawing her. She's like half normal and half deader or something. And then she wakes up again, and she's back in bed where she was in the middle of the movie, getting stabbed. But now she's like alive. Was she ever dead? I don't know. But then she like grabs the cube. She acts like she's about to kill herself so that Winter could make her a deader or something. Even though I thought he already fucking did stab her. Guess he didn't. I don't know. So confused. But then like she like unleashes the Cenobites, and now the Cenobites are like there to kill the deaders because they're mad at them for wanting to even, or for even thinking that they could control the Cenobites. And Pinhead just sends those 2 chains right through them. They're like standing in a row conveniently to get stabbed all together at once. And then the other guy gets the Larry death from part 1. He gets all the hooks in him and just gets ripped apart. Best kill right there in the movie. So yeah, Mr. Howard for best kill goes to a kill that we've seen done again and again. There's no other kills in this movie really, other than the one I just described. So I guess the Mr. Twig Award for worst kill will go to the other dipshits who just stand in a row to get picked off all at the same time. Okay. But yeah, she like solves the cube real quick, and then she after Pinhead kills them, she throws it because Pinhead's like, now I want your soul. I want just a greedy son of a bitch. 1 million souls ain't enough. He just wants another one. Like, you opened the box, you belong to me. And she's like, fuck that. And she just she stabs herself, and then she throws like the cube, and then it just like explodes for some fucking reason. And Pinhead's like, no. Did he die? I doubt it. There's another one. So he didn't die. So why is he screaming no? You're still alive, buddy. She's not killing you. But like, no, I want more soul. Get over it, you greedy bitch. It's just so dumb. Why does it explode? Why would she throws it and just like electrical charges and like whatnot, and just whole place blows up. The end. Like, investigative reporter finds the cube, shows it to the camera, like, look what we found in the debris. And then the boss that sent Amy Klein to Romania is like finding this new hot investigative journalist. He's hiring someone new to go investigate the same story. Like, go do what that other girl couldn't. Like, setting up a sequel to this movie that never happened, and they knew it wasn't ever going to happen because at that time they were already filming Hellworld. So why even set up that weird little sequel if you're not going to go for it? It's just dumb. So yeah, bad movie, not interesting, horrible, enough said. Did not enjoy this one at all. It's probably the worst. Up there with number 2. I know a lot of people love number 2, but man, that movie was just like this, terrible, and extremely incoherent, and just, blah. Man, I have nothing else to say about this movie. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Deader. What did you think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button, and you can become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.